Curry. You can find it across the globe, from India and Britain to Japan and Germany. Typically a spicy thick stew with some stuff in it. All these dishes can vary so much in flavor and ingredients, but they have at least one thing in common. You probably call them curry. So how can one name describe so many different dishes? What even is a curry? Now, I never thought to question what a curry is or what to call these dishes until recently. I came across these articles calling curry racist, a term invented by the British who were too lazy to learn what Indian dishes were actually called. As a brown girl born and raised in Canada, I've always been a little self-conscious about my own brownness. So when I came across these articles calling into question something I thought I really understood about my culture, I was really confused. Because I grew up eating curry, watching my grandparents cook curry, and calling it curry. So I wasn't sure how to process the possibility that I was being problematic, uncultured, or worse, a colonizer? How could one of the things that I love about my culture feel so foreign all of a sudden?
I can tell you that in my childhood, I grew up in the 1970s in India. We knew the word curry, but you would really never use the word like for you know, what are you eating? Like there would be a specific name. So my name is Joita Sharma, and I'm an associate professor of food and environment at the University of Toronto. Okay, so this is a book, a historical companion to Indian food, and it's by a man called K.T. Achaya, to whom all of us should be grateful. It's about Indian food, and if you look at the index, and I always tell my students, make sure to look at the index. It's a real shortcut. And so what you'll find is that if you look up the word curry, it only appears 3 times.
In fact, if you travel to South Asia, you won't find the term curry. Instead, you'd find specific names for specific dishes, which capture what the dish is made of or how it's prepared. So how did all these different dishes come to be lumped together under the single vague term, curry?
So what you had was that if you look up old recipes from the Indian subcontinent, so the spice that is used to heat up food is black pepper. And one of the words for black pepper is curry, K-A-R-I. And somehow it started being applied to the spices, not just to black pepper, but to the spices that were being used to cook different dishes, particularly meat preparations. But what you had was that in the course of colonial rule over the Indian subcontinent, what you had was a process that there were these local cooks, and they were cooking dishes in a way that they were familiar with. And so they would have been, doing the very laborious process of grinding their spices and making their own powders. And so by a process of trial and error, what we have is something like this curry powder emerges. And along the way, a few of these cooks realized that it was something that, basically became a commercial proposition. And then along the way, that is also something that becomes what is now, several billion-dollar industry of curry mixes, curry pastes, but which are customized to the tastes and the needs of every culture.
These flavors and ingredients spread around the world with sailors and merchants, but also indentured laborers who often didn't know where they were going and if they would ever return home.
They moved to a number of British colonies, notably in the Caribbean, but also as far as Fiji, to be what we call indentured laborers, or in the common parlance, coolies. And it is with those coolies who carried with them the tastes of home, the knowledge of those spices, that we find that there's the development of a whole genre of food.
So I could see how curry may have started as a reductive term used by the British during their colonial rule. But it's also clear that's not where it ended.
There's a picture of all the stuff there.
Like, for me, the taste of home was always a bit unclear because my family is from opposite sides of the world. I was born in Canada, but my dad's side of the family is from Goa and Tanzania. while my mom's is from Trinidad and Guyana. So when they make what they call chicken curry, it's two completely different dishes. Sure, they both cook chicken and potatoes in a fragrant stew of spices and aromatics, but that's where their similarities end. My dad's curry uses a spice blend that's made with ground coriander, chili, cumin, paprika, and turmeric to create this earthy base that perfumes every bite. My mom's side uses a blend that you can find in the aisles of any West Indian grocery store.
Okay.
What is in this?
This curry powder, right?
But what's in it?
Huh?
What's in it?
It's just curry powder.
But what's in it?
I don't know.
Her curry is intense, and like traditional Caribbean curries, are scented with this herbal note of shadow benny, pungent garlic, and richly spiced cumin. The curry on my dad's side is softer, but still loaded with flavor. You'll find fresh coriander, tomatoes, and coconut milk, which bring this warm but fresh aroma that you won't find in a Trinidadian curry. Or a Guyanese curry. I have to mention that, otherwise my Guyanese grandpa will be upset with me. I don't want to ruin my curry with pepper if it's too hot.
Put it on the side, that's okay.
But it's gonna explode into it!
You tell me you eat what they got. Oh, ghost pepper.
You want to drink? What's that?
I brought her my drink. Grandpa. Oh my god. But I grew up calling both these dishes curry, and so did they. For my grandma, curry is even more than a dish. It's a transformation. Curry chicken or chicken curry?
No, curry chicken. I think in Guyana they put the adjective before the noun, right? Chicken, goat, duck. You can even do vegetable, curry vegetables too, right?
And as far as they can remember, there is no traditional name that some British colonizer had the caucasity to forget. It is just a dish that evolved over several generations and changed depending on who was cooking it, what they liked, what they had access to, and who they were making it for. Very Food Network. The word curry may have started as a misunderstanding, but the more that I think about it from listening to my grandma, to Joe, and the recipes that I cook to this day, the more I see the dishes I call curry as a symbol of connection, a way for generations to honor their roots, but with permission to evolve. Some may find that threatening to tradition, but I embrace it as I learn to make these curries in my own kitchen. These curries exist because of thousands of years of trade, migration, and borrowing from different cultures along the way. But yes, there's a difference when people take things that aren't theirs and try to pass it off as their own. But when people move around the world, by choice or by force, it's no wonder food becomes one of the ways we try to find a sense of home in a place that doesn't feel like it. Maybe there is no exact definition of a curry, but I do know that the recipes that I grew up eating are in fact real curries. Though these curries may be younger than other cultures' recipes, I don't think that a culture needs to be 8 generations deep to be considered a culture. So rather than seeing curry as an erasure of culture, I see it as the thread that connects me to my roots. It gives me the freedom to choose for myself and carve my own path, even my own curry.